Well, bonjour, bienvenue à la Breakfast Central. Welcome to Breakfast Central, by the way. Don't mind us. We're just kidding. By the way, it's Tuesday, day 2, and we're excited to be here. I mean, we all got here safe and sound. Nobody had any scuffle in the air. But
well, we didn't. Thankfully, we didn't pull any. Wow, you're dry.
Yeah. I'm just happy, by the way. Morning.
All right, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning on Breakfast Central. We're trying out new things, every day experimenting. Tell us what you think about this new look, and if you enjoy it, you can let us know on YouTube at News Central TV. We're streaming live. Drop a comment in the comment section to tell us if you prefer this or you want the tables. I am Olive Emodi. You're welcome back.
And I'm Binga Borough. Welcome to Breakfast Central. This is the best place to start your day. We give you the best of all the information, analysis, news stories, just everything you need to start your day right. So sit back, relax, and welcome aboard. And on this flight, there will be no turbulence, there will be no dragging, there will be no aeroplane stopper. It's going to be smooth.
That's giving Elizabeth Joyce.
Yeah, I have my pilot and co-pilot and first officer. We're complete. We're ready to go.
We're ready to go.
The only thing we don't have is cabin crew, flight attendant.
And disruptor, flight
disruptors.
So it's going to be...
Speaking of...
But I don't know what's going on these days. Why the aviation sector? There's so much... It's been in the spotlight. It started with the renovations, then it went on to aeroplane stopper, and
Not really.
social media has called...
It started with the former Edo State governor.
Oh, yes, Adams
Shomole. Yeah.
Then the renovations, then it's been in the spotlight.
Well, I think maybe that's just an easy target for people right now because people are angry and every opportunity to vent out their anger.
And as a lawyer,
yes,
I thought, that symbol, Lady Justice, she's blindfolded, right?
Yeah.
She's meant to mean impartiality.
Yeah.
She's meant to be neutral. And everybody's meant to be equal before the law. But it seems sometimes, in the cases I've seen in the last 1 week, Lady Justice, when it came to the aeroplane stopper, she was blindfolded. But yesterday, Lady Justice, wow, Nigerian Civil
Aviation Authority.
Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, Nigerian Judicial System. I didn't know it could work so effectively, so quickly, remanded in Kirikiri.
Chap, chap.
Chap, chap.
That's what they call
That means Justice used to blindfold herself sometimes and remove
the blindfold.
Well, incredible.
Speaking about Justice blindfolding herself and removing the blindfolds, this is the argument that we've seen. The likes of Aisha Yesufu have come out on Twitter, on X, to put videos talking about the situation. And even His Excellency Peter Obi, while criticizing what Comfort Emerson had done, but also saying that it's selective justice. He said that if they could do this for her, good for the goose is good for the gander. What is good for Comfort is good for Kwam 1, so...
It's good for Kwam 1, it's good for Kwam 2.
Exactly.
Yeah. And what is good for Kwam 2? I heard we had Kwam 3 yesterday as well. Yes, a video, but we're not confirmed yet.
It will be nice to see.
We heard it happened same yesterday, same Ibom Air as well, but we need to ensure that we confirm that story.
Yeah.
But before we proceed, just to help our viewers who are tuning in and joining us, we're saying welcome. I think we should start from the beginning. Let's start
what we came
what
here
we're about
to do.
Exactly.
So, this scuffle that happened in the flight from Uyo to Lagos made waves on social media, not for the right reasons, for the wrong reasons. And Ibom Air has finally put out a statement. When we took the story yesterday, there wasn't an official statement by Ibom Air. But now let's take a look at the statement that Ibom Air put out on X yesterday. They said, Ibom Air confirms that on Sunday, August 10, 2025, an incident occurred on board our Uyo-Lagos flight involving a passenger, Ms. Comfort Emerson, whose conduct posed a serious threat to the safety of our crew, passengers, and aircraft. Shortly before takeoff from Uyo, Ms. Emerson was instructed in line with standard aviation safety procedures to switch off her mobile phone. She bluntly refused to comply until the pilot in command made an announcement, after which a fellow passenger seated beside her took the phone and switched it off. Who sent you?
Class captain.
Who sent you? It's giving Kemi Bednock. Anyway, this action prompted a verbal tirade. This action prompted a verbal tirade from Ms. Emerson. The situation was eventually calmed and the flight departed as scheduled. Upon arrival in Lagos, Ms. Emerson waited for all other passengers to disembark and then proceeded to confront the purser who had earlier instructed her. She walked up to the unsuspecting purser, stepped on her, forcibly removed her wig, forcibly tore off her wig, removed her glasses and threw it to the floor, and used her footwear to assault her. She slapped her several times, and when the other cabin crew member tried to intervene, she slapped her too. She then attempted to forcibly remove a fire extinguisher to use as a weapon, an act that could have damaged and grounded the aircraft. By this time, the pilot in command had alerted airport security. Before security could arrive, the purser, as seen on the viral video on the internet, prevented the passenger from leaving the aircraft until security arrived. The arrival of Ibom Air security personnel did not deter the passenger as she attacked them as well, lashing out violently at the security personnel. She was then restrained and removed from the aircraft by force. Even after disembarking, she continued to assault Ibom Air security personnel and even slapped the ground supervisor. The passenger was removed from the ramp and taken into custody by FAAN security and handed over to the Nigerian police force for further investigation. Ibom Air has since submitted a report on the incident to the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority and placed a travel restriction on Ms. Emerson, who will no longer be permitted to fly on any of our aircraft. Ibom Air reiterates its zero-tolerance policy towards any form of unruly or violent conduct that threatens the safety of passengers, crew, or equipment. Such behavior will be met with the strongest possible response, including legal action and permanent restriction from our services. Now, this last paragraph is very interesting. They said, we commend the bravery and professionalism of our crew in handling the situation under extremely challenging circumstances, as well as the swift support from airport security and the Nigerian police, who told Ibom Air that their crew was professional in how they handled that situation.
Let's not rush. We've gotten the, we're dissecting it.
So we don't miss out. We've
taken the report, the press release. Ibom Air has explained what happened. Now, let's see if we can get FAAN. FAAN also put out a statement. I think it's
even
good
the Minister of Aviation.
Let's analyze all what was put out there. So FAAN, recurring incidents of unruly passenger behavior at Nigerian airports. Quite tiny, but then again, we'll try to see it. It says the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria has noted with concern the increasing frequency of unruly behavior by some passengers at our airports. We wish to categorically state that such conduct is entirely unacceptable within the framework of civil aviation and will not be tolerated. Passengers are strongly advised to acquaint themselves with the passengers' rights and responsibilities and airlines' obligations as published by the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, and the Federal Airports Authority of Nigeria. It says by laws. Moving forward, the authority will not hesitate to implement relevant sanctions as stipulated in ICAO Annex 17, Nigerian Civil Aviation Regulations, especially Part 17, and FAAN bylaws against any form of disruptive or threatening behavior within airport premises. We wouldn't go as far as reading everything. Let's just jump to the penultimate paragraph. It says, regarding the recent incident involving a passenger on Ibom Air, while the situation was initially managed by security personnel at the Murtala Mohammed Airport's Domestic Terminal 2, MM2, the FAAN Aviation Security AFSEC, that's the team, has since intervened, taken the individual into custody and handed her over to the Nigerian Police Force to further investigation and prosecution. And then, of course, they end by simply saying the safety, security, comfort of all airport users remain our top priority, and acts of inappropriate behavior will be met with the full weight of applicable laws and protocols. So take note of that word.
Signed by my namesake.
Full weight. Full weight of applicable laws and protocols. So
all
two.
right.
We've
so
taken
that's
two now.
two.
Yeah.
There have also been passengers who have claimed that they were there and they shared what
Eyewitness report.
Eyewitness report. I don't know if you have the tweet of someone who claims to be a passenger on the flight, and his name is a certain Tunde A. Ibrahim. He says, I was on board. It was a crew member that resisted the lady from coming down because of put-off phone and no put-off phone. The lady told the crew that her phone was already on flight mode. After landing, they refused to allow the lady from coming down, saying they have called airport security to pick her up. In fact, they pushed the lady back on seat for many of us to pass. So there are a number of things I want to pick out. First of all, I strongly, categorically condemn her reaction, her behavior yesterday. We think that that was very, very irresponsible. That's not a way to act. She was violent. She assaulted the staff of Ibom Air and security personnel, and that should be totally condemned. Now, put that aside. I want to reference the press release given by Ibom Air, and I feel like something is missing here. when they say that shortly before takeoff, she was asked to turn off her phone and she didn't turn off her phone, and it was a passenger that turned off the phone for her, and then she waited for everybody to disembark and went to attack the purser. I feel like there's a missing block here.
What does the purser have?
Yeah, so the purser was the one that announced. Then she didn't attack the passenger that took her phone to switch it off. It feels like something is missing. Something is missing. That it doesn't feel like that's the real or the true story or the full picture. Let me put it that way. It doesn't feel like that's the full picture that Ibom Air has shared in that instance where you say the purser announces for her to turn off the phone, a passenger picks up her phone and switches it off, and then all of a sudden she waits until everybody disembarks from the plane and then goes to launch an attack on the purser. That being said, I think it was very irresponsible how Ibom Air staff handled the situation. Does Ibom Air train its crew members on how to de-escalate tensions professionally? Because ensuring that you're dragging her out of the plane in the most despicable way that reveals her nudity. And all those people who are saying whether she wore underwear, she didn't wear, please, that's a very lame argument.
It shouldn't even be.
It's her decision whether or not she wants to wear underwear. That's not even a part of the argument. So somebody pulled her out in the most degrading way, and then another staff was filming. Please, let's not even show the video. Let's not show the video. Our producers, please come back to us. Come back to us on screen. Yes. Somebody then pulls her out, and then a staff was filming that video, saw that she was exposed, that her breasts were exposed, and posted it on social media, thereby ensuring that her nudity is being shared. And different handles, different pages, different blogs have been sharing her nudity. Is that the look of professionalism, Ibom Air? I think that whilst you're criticizing her for how she's acted, rightfully so, it's important for Ibom Air to take some measure of responsibility for how it has acted, handled this matter very irresponsibly. So everybody on this side, like each side of the divide, has a role to play and has some responsibility to play, and it'll be fair if people stood up, told themselves the truth, and took accountability.
Absolutely. I mean, my take is on the way just like you said, Ibom Air ground staff and also the crew members handle that situation. There have to be more dignifying ways. If you're going to use a handcuff, if you're going to restrain her, you should do it in a dignifying way, not dragging her on the floor. Imagine if I had hit the stairs on our way down. We'll be talking about something else here. She might have fainted, something. It could have been a worse situation. So they need to do proper training on de-escalating the situation. And then the ground staff at the tarmac, were they aviation security or Ibom Air security? I mean, there should be ways of handling this sort of things. And the biggest blunder in all of this is the swiftness at which the FAAN, aviation security, the Nigerian police were able to do this. And then we saw a similar incident. Thankfully, it wasn't so long ago that we have to rejig our memory to question or did this happen in that situation or not. It's still just 2 days ago. It's very clear in our memory. Somebody, I mean, you deprived 100+ people from flying. You were clearly moving, obstructing a plane, and the laws are very clear. The stipulation of the law is there, and what we get is an apology and government officials saying to air is human. I mean, it smacks of double standards. Both parties should face the law equally and be responsible for their actions. It's not fair that you're so quick to charge one party to court and remand her in prison custody, and then the other person, just because it happens to be a celebrity, you sweep the case under the carpet. It's totally unfair.
They would say that they haven't swept it under the carpet.
They're investigating.
They're investigating.
Okay.
That they first gave him a 6-month flight ban, and I'm now hearing that they've made it an indefinite one until pending the conclusion of the investigation.
What are they investigating? Why didn't it take so much time to investigate?
Investigation for Quam 1 should be investigation enough for Quam 2 as well.
Exactly.
Anyway.
Well, good points. I mean, I agree with some of the points highlighted, especially from the press release. But I think if we should also try and dissect it in 3 ways, if you ask me. My first one will be the issue. What is the issue? The issue, whether you like it or not, from Quam 1 to Quam 2 still borders on what the law that governs the aviation sector does not accept. So whether one was fighting, because I did see some comments, people were like, oh, Kwamwon didn't fight. He didn't engage in fisticuff with anyone. So his case should be either tendered with approach with mercy. But that's not so, because that's not what the law says when it comes to the aviation sector. However, both of them, they've engaged in unruly acts of conduct, whether we like it or not. But the point is, the issue is the issue. And the issue here is that our lady, our dear Nigerian, decided to act unruly. And let's be honest.
It's true. It starts from the individual.
Let's start from there. That's the issue. We all board planes. And when they tell you, please, can you switch off? We switch off. Okay? I also agree that the story, there's something missing. There's a missing link in that story that we need to find. However, maybe nobody's talking about it. But let me highlight it here. The presser that came from Ibom Air says that a lady, a passenger, a fellow passenger did what? Took the phone and put it off. Where is that passenger?
Exactly.
Where is the passenger? Because if that passenger, there's not a report that I saw that she was waiting until she touched down Lagos and then she attacked the passenger. You can check, it's there, it's online. That she attacked the passenger. So at this point, FAAN, you know, the minister, everybody should put the entire reports that they have together and find the truth. Because whether you like it or not, there is something that may have aggravated that lady
in everything
to act
you
that
do,
way.
I mean, as individuals,
but regardless,
you think about your family, your friends. If my family members see me fighting or acting unruly on the tarmac, what would that say about me?
That's it.
And it's part of the things that keep us grounded and checked. So all of this started with individuals behaving badly and unprofessionally. They told you you don't have to throw tantrums and act like you're bigger. Just follow rules and regulations to avoid all these sorts of things.
That's it. And the statement of, oh, do you know who I am does not exist.
It doesn't count.
Yeah. So in her case, like I also said, you don't know how people would react to you when you are violent. Nobody.
Yes,
if
you have no right
and hits me.
In
I don't know how I'm
any
going
case,
to react.
it's the first attack. That's who attacked first. You don't have a right to lay your hands on any individuals, regardless of the grounds of provocation. Once you go physical, then whatever happens to you after that, I mean, it's your fault.
So let's replay the script now. Let's replay the script. One, they said there was a third party, a third person. There's no statement on who this person was.
No name, no identity.
We don't know who this person was. According to that story, the person was one who picked the phone and said, put it off and so on. And then the story, another story, like I said, also came online was that she was waiting. As soon as the plane touched down Lagos, Murtala Mohammed, she attacks the person and then the purser and every other person.
Which doesn't make sense.
And so on. Now, we don't know the generality. I always say this, and I'm going to say it again. You don't have every information, every detail of the story until everything has been investigated thoroughly. Now, that's one. But it doesn't still give credence to her action. That young lady should have just said that you saw the part where she was slapping the purser, you know, and so on. At that point, I think she stepped her boundaries. You don't even attack the next person. And the lady said, look, she's slapping me. At that point, she also put out her own video where she did put the camera and said, see, she's not allowing me to go. She's not allowing me to go. Why would she allow you to go? What did you do prior to that before you would say she did not allow you to go? So you see, all we're seeing is in bits and pieces, different images, pictures, videos, and so on and so forth. Now, there's another video where she was indeed given a cloth to wear, and the transport came to pick her up, okay?
The bus.
The bus. And when that bus came to pick her up, there was a man who was inside that bus who was well-clad, well-dressed. Of course, he was from the Aviation Authority. And guess what she did? She attacked him too. And she held his suit, pinned him down, and the man was like, he didn't do anything. He was like, look, 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 look.
Joe.
She also needs to be tested.
Oh, I agree. I do think that the amount of rage she carries on the inside...
It's way too much.
It's crazy. And I would say that maybe she should get a psych evaluation to be sure that all is well there. But I want to go back again to that video, because someone just pointed out, someone sent a message to say, go back and watch the video. And we can't play the video, unfortunately. The video of her being dragged off the plane, showing her breasts. We can't play that video on TV. Apparently, it looked like there was somebody there who actually pulled up her top. That's what it looked like. But that being said...
I don't agree with that.
No, I will show you the video.
I've seen the video and I don't agree with that.
That being said, I would say this again. Ibom Air, give us the full picture of what happened. It just doesn't make sense that a woman received the instruction to turn off her mobile phone, and then because she refused, her passenger turned off the phone for her, and then after the flight landed, she went and attacked the person who made the announcement. That story does not make sense. We need the full picture. Also, take some measure of accountability for the highly unprofessional way in which your staff handled this matter and de-escalated it, revealing a woman's nudity, not just revealing it, filming it, and then posting it on social media. That was classless, tactless, irresponsible, and you also deserve to take some measure of accountability.
I absolutely agree.
What we say is that, just to mention, for those who will say, oh, we're making excuses for, if you watched the show yesterday, we thoroughly trashed down the show yesterday when we said it was terrible. At the time, this naked video did not come out. When we saw the other videos where she had acted in the way that she acted, we said she deserves to be interrogated, to be, this matter deserves to, she deserves to face the full wrath of the law. That there's no argument that Comfort acted very, very irresponsibly, very violent, and anybody with that level of anger should not be seated with other people because you are a danger to other people. She kept attacking, picked up her bag, almost flung it at someone. But again, I've seen some people who argue that you can beat a child but cannot tell the child how to cry. That yes, there is a huge level of anger on the inside of that woman, but then again, you as an adult, think about it. If in a plane, somebody strips you naked while they're bringing you out in the most dehumanizing way, how do they expect you to react? I mean, I'm not...
Let's be careful by saying they stripped her naked.
They did when they were pulling her out.
They did.
They did in the way that they
part of the altercation.
It was not part of the altercation.
Why would you not endorse it? We don't endorse it whichever way.
Wait. Why did they not get a security personnel to do that?
Those were security officers.
No, it was the Ibom. Look at it. They had the Ibom Air staff.
No, you did have
Ibom Air staff
downstairs.
I mean, while they were waiting for aviation security to arrive.
They should have waited for the aviation security to arrive.
But then, while they were waiting for the aviation security, if things had gone out of hand, if she managed to get a hand on the fire extinguisher, we'll be saying something else now. So there was a clear and present danger.
Let's not, one thing I said this morning yesterday while going through this entire footage, look at this same person we're talking about, throwing rage and tantrum, and I'm hoping we get the video where she was inside of the bus. Take a look at this, slapping someone. Now, would Olive do this? The answer is no.
So this is
you would
terrible.
rather just wait.
I agree.
Or
and
you
I
would
say
calm
that
down.
extremely terrible.
In science, they say there's action.
The issue with Ibom Air, and they had no right to put in their last paragraph that they commend the professional way in which they handled it. They didn't handle it professionally because modesty was violated. And
she has that she can sue now for that.
So
yes, both parties are wrong.
The good thing is an NGO has offered to represent her. There's an NGO that has written, and they've said that they have a list of lawyers who are ready to represent her. And I think that is good. So let them counter-sue. Let them sue Ibom Air or sue whoever they want to sue, especially for tearing her clothes and so on and so forth. And this is where they gave her a change of clothes, or rather she got one and then she changed.
After you filmed her boobs,
so
you now give her clothes.
And then that video emanated from an Ibom Air source that is circulated widely on the internet.
Exactly.
So they have to take responsibility
I agree.
for that.
That person too should be found. Who was with the phone? Who is that person? That person too should face the wrath of the law. In other words, that person should learn that in as much as we are handling issues like this, you do not carry out certain videos or video or record and then share, because that video was shared.
The video was even meant for internal investigation.
Internal auditing, internal review.
All right.
Well, you used it and then you shared it. My point again is this. We've looked at the issue, and the issue is what we've actually seen. We've seen the reactions, and I'm going to say this clearly. I mean, everybody decides to have their opinion, but you can never in life decide how somebody will react to your own violence. Nobody. There are people who go with knife in hand. I mean, we're not preaching violence, and try to kill the next person, unbeknownst to them that person is a black belter. And the person decides to react in protecting his own life, and that leads to your ending up in a comatose. That doesn't mean that the person, this person is wicked, you shouldn't have kicked him. The person, you were coming for me, I had to save my life.
Again.
That's that. But we're not preaching. That's not what we're saying.
Again, what we're saying is
morally,
what is the full picture? That paragraph does not suffice. What is the full picture? Saying we need the full story of what happened. And it would be great if people who were on board that airline will please come to the public or reach out to us here at News Central TV. We want to hear the eyewitness experience of what happened inside the plane. But that being said, Comfort has been banned from flying locally and internationally. I wonder how, if she wants to go to London or any other place, how she will go. First go to like Libya. Or go by road.
No, she'll use route. But then again,
it's not
the context, the major context, you see, if you've noticed, we've looked at the issue. The major context now that we should also be spending time discussing, although we're out of time, is the justice.
Yes.
That is the.
I mean, that
is what we should be focusing on.
The double standards.
Because that is the problem. That all this one we are talking. Oh, she did this. Let's be honest. She was on.
Because if an example had been made,
so
it would have been ringing in her head that I better de-escalate the situation.
So,
let me.
And I'm hoping that this serves as an example to people who are watching. No matter how angry you are, it's important you know that there are cameras everywhere. People are filming. Put yourself, even if there are no cameras, they're you know, what's the word? I'm trying to. If your right has been,
this is a video of where she was in the bus.
Yeah, I know. This was after.
She was unhappy.
If your right has been violated,
look at that young man just standing on his own. The other one is making a call, of course.
Don't leave that in. Did you hear in the camera when they were saying this is terrible?
Hold on, Olive, hold on. Look now. What is this now, Olive?
I do say, I said that they should do a psych evaluation for her, that I think that there's something not quite okay with her. Because when I saw this was the clip that made me think this is not normal behavior, that they should do a psych evaluation for her to be sure that there's something. Because it looks like she snapped. Like there's something in her just snapped. So it would be great for them to do that. But that being said, if you find out that your right is being violated on the plane, know that there are remedies available to you. Just make sure that for the moment, as much as you can, you try your best to stay calm and not be the butt of the jokes later on. And then later you can press
on the right side of the law
as much as you can. So even if they had said to her, we're trying to arrest you, okay, you're not in support of it. Stay back. Call your family members, call your lawyers, start letting them know what is happening because you're entitled to a lawyer. But don't put yourself up for public ridicule in the way that this woman has unfortunately put herself up. Let's get reactions from this story and share them with you. People, of course, have been talking about it on X for the past 2-3 days. Kwam 1 day house, Kwam 2 day kirikiri.
You see?
It's just another day in paradise.
This is from Daily Farouk. This is what we should focus on now. The perverted justice
so simply
that was meted in two situations.
So let's say the lady is actually mad and did too much. Someone recorded her being dragged off the plane, recorded her being exposed like that, and then posted it without editing out this exposure or blurring it out. LOL. I personally want to know who posted that video and why no one is holding him or her accountable. Ibom Air, catch your shade. Because Auntie will face the law. But voluntarily posting her half naked for millions of people to see when less than 10 people actually witnessed it in the first place deserves punishment.
100% agreed.
And that's not just punishment, it is a crime. Let people know that sharing nudes is a crime because you have shared her nude. Because you can't condemn one madness and leave another one. Exactly. That's what Simply Simi has said. Paul Ibe says, the assault of Ibom Air crew and airport security officials on Sunday by an Ibom Air passenger, Ms. Comfort Emerson, is the reason why we need to be deliberate about nipping bad behavior on the board. There's a temptation to hail the airport security officials of acting swiftly and removing the unruly passenger from the aircraft and the tarmac. But the question arises, why was Kwam 1 also not bundled out of the tarmac in the same manner when he, in a hostage-taking manner, obstructed ValueJet airline operations in Abuja last week? Maybe it was because Comfort is not a friend of the president.
I mean,
this is the reason why the authorities should have made an example of Kwam 1 to avert copycats like passenger Comfort from breeding a Kwam 2 scenario. The question is, when will Kwam 1 be arraigned in court along with Comfort? The world, especially the International Aviation Body, is watching. So everybody's highlighting this.
Yeah.
Comfort Kwam 2 is a daughter of a nobody, while Wasiu Kwam 1 is a bosom friend of Mr. President. President's friends enjoy presidential privileges. All men are not equal in Nigeria. Dr. Charles Omole says, I try to stay out of the drama that goes on in Nigeria on a daily basis as much as possible. But on the matter of the lady being dragged off Ibom Air, I feel there is an important point to make. The guys carrying the lady out of the aircraft were wearing Ibom Air yellow vests. Note, please highlight that part, which usually mean they are staff of the airline. If this is the case, then they are completely wrong in even touching her, since the aircraft is on the ground. They should have simply called AFSEC, Aviation Security, to come and take her out. The airline ground staff are not permitted to do the job of aviation security in this circumstance. God will bless Dr. Charles Omole for this.
Yeah, but things could have gone
They should have
extremely
waited.
out of hand.
AFSEC are better trained to do so and have the right tools to deploy. It is not the job of the airline employees to physically carry a recalcitrant passenger off the plane in this circumstance. What if she had banged her head and died? Exactly. They should have waited for
What if she has
security.
used fire extinguisher to break somebody's head?
Two truths can coexist. Move
Even
on.
if she leaves the aircraft, she can easily be tracked within the airport and arrested. I'm not excusing the lady's alleged behavior in any way, but officials must also respond appropriately to passenger misconduct. Hopefully, an investigation will reveal the truth and sequence of events and lessons will be learned. Okay.
Three truths can coexist.
Because
They could have restrained her in a more dignified way.
Ikena
that's it.
Zimora says the Ibom Air girl did not block or impede an airplane. She just fought an air hostess, but she's in prison. Pamon assaulted an air hostess and the pilot, blocked and impeded the plane, which is terrorism. Even did a show over the weekend, and he's at home chinchilling. Well, the Ibom Air girl did not get a chance to do an apology video. Valid.
There was no time.
I've said it before that one thing she can do now is let her lawyers try and get into Kirikiri, let her do an apology video, and let's post it. We will take it here on Breakfast. And let's hope that when we take that video, she'll be released. Because the truth is, if she's not released, then we can write this.
I mean, you don't even need to wait to that. It's obvious double standard.
Binga.
I mean, the way he was even treated, he said they offered him a private jet to take him to his destination, you know, pampering him after breaking the laws of the country.
There are stories that isn't true as well.
Okay.
That it was just in that press release that came from his media aide, of which
but it came
everything
from-
written in that press release has been proven not to be true.
Okay. So as we, wrap up the story, just to mention the highlights, because we've touched on many things regarding the Ibom Air story. So first, Ibom Air, give us a full picture of what happened, because that explanation doesn't really suffice. Secondly, Ibom Air should not applaud its staff for having acted professionally, because there was nothing professional about filming a
Taking a
woman,
video.
ensuring, pulling her in the most
And
undignified way,
circulating that video.
revealing her breasts, posting it on social media and circulating, ensuring, of course, millions of people around Nigeria have seen it. And to all the blogs and handles that are also reposting this woman's nudity, you all are part of ensuring that you are propagating the wrong that Ibom Air did. Please desist from sharing her naked videos. That's the other part. Then, to talk about the woman who has been arrested, we strongly criticize and condemn how she acted in the most unruly manner towards Ibom Air staff, because her actions showed so much rage, so much anger, and nobody should react like that. So we're hoping that a psych evaluation is done to be sure.
You forgot one more very
No, not
important
done.
thing.
No.
Okay,
Psych
good.
evaluation should be done to ensure that they check that all is well upstairs. And my final thoughts would be the manner and the swift manner in which justice was meted out to comfort Emerson. Can Nigerians truly say that that was justice if the same was not done to Kwamuon? That's all that we have to say. You want to add anything?
Nothing
you've-
more.
you've said
I
enough.
think we'll just follow up the story. And just like we did when we called for potholes to be fixed in Lagos, we'll do a daily countdown and call on the aviation, you could say the minister and, of course, the body to ensure that we get a response to that. But then again,
our law enforcement is quick.
very
quick.
quick. It can work.
In 24
Yes,
hours.
When you're taking one way and
It was
abusing
giving
you and beating your car,
NYPD and
it
FBI.
won't work. Let's go on.
But in
let's
Kwamwon, it was giving village police.
Let's
taking
bring
his
our top
time.
stories, Binga. It's my time. Top stories for today, my people. Today on Breakfast Central, we'll be looking at customs as they reinstate 4% import levy amid economic woes. It's a very serious conversation to have. Finally, police extend tinted glass permit enforcement to October the 2nd. Someone is celebrating in the studio here. Police denies torture to Moyele Shore. Shore joins us today, so make sure you tune in. He's going to spill all the truth and what he went through. And Nigerian Correctional Service is in focus. We'll look at that. Don't forget to the newspaper front pages will be up at 9. You can join in by calling and being part of the conversation. Stay with us. The show begins proper.